Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Calloway's Corner. Real talk, real stories, real impact. Let's break down Monday Night Raw in Sacramento. Welcome back to Calloway's Corner. You can also catch me on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. WrestleMania is this weekend, and we have a stop on Monday Night Raw in Sacramento. And this ticket at WrestleMania is loaded. This WrestleMania is shaping up to possibly be the best ever if everything's done right. But there are no excuses if it's a failure. It's definitely got to beat last year. I think it's got to beat WrestleMania 42. So we'll start off Raw with a video, courtesy of your tribal chief Roman Reigns, and he is making in the video CM Punk out to be a fraud. Some of the things over the week that CM Punk has said, uh, the video contradicts everything. So you've always heard CM Punk say, uh, he's not here to make friends, he's here to make money. Well, in the video, see him making a lot of friends. He also says he hasn't surrounded himself with minions like Roman Reigns has to help him do all his dirty work. He's talking about, of course, CM Punk's talking about the bloodline. But in the videos, you see CM Punk with the Straight Edge Society. CM Punk was also involved, had help from the Shield, as well as the Nexus. You also see CM Punk talk about Pat McAfee, called Pat McAfee out in one of his promos, and that's in the video too, talking about Pat McAfee just needs to go back and talk to whoever who at the board, and tell them to make these ticket sales cheaper for the fans. And Pat McAfee on SmackDown responds to CM Punk and says that you you think you're talking about making things easier for the fans, but all this money you made from this merchandise, you're not giving back to the fans. So it's all these little things you see in the video that depicts CM Punk as being a fraud. Of course, he's not a fraud. I will say, since he's returned to WWE, he has said some things like what we just talked about, but it's contradictory. But he's gotten a little bit softer. He's not the same guy he was when he left WWE, but he's older now. And he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be the Rage Against the Machine anymore. We all know what CM Punk is. And I will say with CM Punk, the first time around, when his first run in WWE, he made me feel like he was the only one at that time that made me feel like there was a possibility they could bring the Attitude Era back in some way, or some type of era that was close to that. That didn't happen, but CM Punk had you on the edge of your seat thinking that was going to happen. But that's what the whole video was about, and that's how we started off Raw. But then we go into the ring with Adam Pearce and Triple H, and we have a contract signing between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. Now, this has to be a separate contract signing because these guys can't be in the ring together without tearing up the whole place. So Brock Lesnar is the first one to come out with the first one introduced um, for the contract signing. And Paul Heyman, of course, comes out first, introduces Brock Lesnar. But Brock, they get in the ring and everything, and Brock tells everybody that you won't remember Ober after WrestleMania. And Paul Heyman says there will be a winner and there will be a loser. Now, if, of all the matches, I could probably call this one as saying Ober's going to win this match. If he doesn't, it's not going to make any sense whatsoever. You building up Ober, and we'll talk about more about this later on, but you're building up Ober. So Brock Lesnar's had all these years of being dominant, but you need somebody new to be dominant as well. Oba's going to get that push. He already has gotten that push, but I'm talking about Oba's going to be the next guy. So I am predicting Oba Femi will win this match. Uh, the match, I kind of got a little nervous before when they set this match up. I just hope it won't get the Brock Lesnar and Goldberg first match jinx. That jinx got built up, and then all of a sudden it was just trash. But this is not gonna be one of those matches. I can't wait. This match, I'm willing to. I think this match is going to be. It could possibly be the best match of the night, one of the best matches of the night. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. There's so many great matches, but we move on to a video segment with Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed. Now, there's going to be a six-man tag match with them three and the Usos and LA Knight at WrestleMania. They're the video showing them motivating the Vision motivating I Show Speed, for this tag match. And at first, I Show Speed is kind of he doesn't want to be in the ring with the Usos and LA Knight, but he has a little training session, and you see him by the end of the training session. I Show Speed has got his confidence, and he's ready for WrestleMania. Now, it could be false confidence, I get it, but I don't see the Vision and I Show Speed winning this match. But he's going to do some pretty amazing things. These people that are not wrestlers as of recently, you see guys like Logan Paul and Jelly Roll and somebody else, Pat McAfee, that are not wrestlers but have gotten to the business and really show what they got. And I think I Show Speed's going to be one of them. He's going to do some amazing things at WrestleMania. It's going to be very watchable, and I think it's going to be very entertaining. I do predict that the Vision's going to just leave him as bait for the Usos and LA Knight to get their receipts back. That's just my opinion. But I Show Speed will be ready. So we move on to our first match. It's Lyra Valkyria versus Charlotte Flair. And I'll tell you what, these singles matches, this match particularly here, it's more entertaining to me than these tag matches. I just think these tag matches right now, not all of them, but just some of the, you see Charlotte and Alexa, Lyra and Bayley, and you see, it's just a lot of tag teams right now with women's tag teams that I think would be better if they were back into singles competition. But the women's card, is so loaded right now. So, but this match between Lyra Valkyria and Charlotte Flair, it was very entertaining. You see some impressive little handstand Lyra Valkyria did during the match and everything, and of course Bayley interferes, causing Lyra to win the match, and everything. So it was it's been a back and forth. One team on SmackDown lost. It was Bayley, I think, lost on SmackDown, and this week Lyra wins on Raw, something like that. But I do think that Lyra and Bayley will be the sole tag team that'll stay together. Alexa and Charlotte, I think that they're going to some down the line, they're going to split up. And I'll talk a little bit more about that stuff later on. We go backstage with the Usos and LA Knight. And Solo comes in with the MFTs. And Solo says that their family is just one big mess, And LA Knight challenges the MFTs to a six-man tag tag team match. The family is not the the Uso family is going to be mixed. The MFTs is about to turn on Solo. You see it, and it really makes a lot of sense because the you got Tama, Tonga Lord, and you got all three of them, all the Tongans that are brothers. So when they got into the WWE, people are already talking about them versus the Usos. I believe that Solo at one point might go back over with Jimmy and Jey Uso, and they'll all fight, the MFTs. Yeah, I just think, I think that just makes a lot of sense. And WWE has been building up for them for that to happen, for Solo to get kicked out of the MFTs at some point. So Kathy Kelly is interviewing Stephanie Vaquer in the ring, and Liv Morgan attacks Stephanie. So you see last week where Stephanie attacked Liv Morgan, and the impact. I mean, she shoved last week. Stephanie shoved Liv Morgan in towards Roxanne Perez, and they just bumped heads, knocked them both down. And then Stephanie Vaquer takes Liv Morgan and shoves her head into the TV, and with this crazy impact. And these matches, if it's one heated match that's becoming more heated every week, it's this match between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer. This match is another match that I can't wait to figure, know who won this match and see the match and everything. But it's another match that could be the best of the night and the best of the weekend. But this match just gives me goosebumps. It's just real tension. I feel like real tension of two people that really just don't like each other, and kind of they're doing a good job in the storyline to kind of convince that these are two people in two different walks of life, and but both of them have a tough past and a tough edge about them. So, and I don't know who's going to win this. I mean, my money might be on Liv, but you never know. Stephanie might pull it out. I think Liv is going to come out as the new champion after this match. So it's just so personal and everything. But at the very end, you see poor Kathy Kelly getting escorted out of the ring because she took a hit as well, and she's getting escorted to the back and everything. So, of course, Kathy, you don't see her too many times, take any type of licks. She seems to do good getting out of harm's way, but it's going to happen eventually. So I hope we'll see her next time. Next time she's interviewing somebody, we'll see Kathy Kelly again. But then we go backstage with Asuka, Kyrie, and Io Sky, and Asuka calls Io Rhea's sidekick, and forces like Io, Sky, and Kyrie Sane match. Lately, we've been seeing a lot of the bullying going on with Asuka and Kyrie Sane. We're thinking that Kyrie Sane is going to turn on Asuka. I got a different I think it's going to go a different direction. But tonight, we're going to have a match between Io Sky and Kyrie Sane. Our next matches are the Usos and LA Knight versus the MFTs. Now, before I get to that, the last video I did, I was talking about this theory I had. You guys remember Jey Uso getting attacked? You remember Jacob Fatu getting attacked on SmackDown? I don't remember if we got the reveal of who did that. But at some time, that has to come back around. And I still support my theory that I think that the person who attacked them was Jimmy Uso. And just, I said it last time on my video, but it got edited out or something. I think I skipped over or something like that, but the editing just might have, went wrong. That was my fault. But I'm going to plug it in a little bit this time. If you think about it, Jimmy hasn't had a push yet. Jay became world champion. Even Naomi had that great push before she when I had had the baby. But Jimmy being her husband, you might think that Jimmy might rub off on that. And I just think kind of Jimmy might be kind of playing everybody. Uh, that would be, uh, I think that would be a great storyline. I hope they go that way at some point. But I think it should be a big surprise. And whether they'll do it, whether that's going to happen, I don't know. But that's just my theory. But going back to this match, um, 6 man tag match. Uh, we don't know. I just talked about the MFTs will soon turn on Solo. Well, that's kind of where it's leading up. You kind of got glimpse of that in this match somewhat. It just seems that way every time you're about to have someone get kicked out of a group. It's always one person that just doesn't take all the orders like they used to, and just doesn't have that motivation like they used to, and that's Tama Tonga. But during this match, Tama Tonga shows up late, and you hear Solo asking Tama, "Where were you? Like, where have you been all this time?" And Tama's not saying anything, just kind of just looking at Solo uh, and everything. And it's almost like in the back of his mind, he's like, "I want you out of this group." So this allows LA Knight to hit the BFT on Tonga Loa for the win. And of course, the Usos and LA Knight got to go in with that win before WrestleMania. But this gives you a little bit of hint towards more of the drama that might be shaping up between Solo Sikoa, and the MFTs. But then we go Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, Gunther comes out, but then Seth Rollins attacks Gunther. But my question is, why does Gunther want to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? There's a reason behind this. You had seen that there was a favor that Paul Heyman needed to give Gunther at one point. I don't think it's a big secret that we might be getting to the point setting up Gunther retiring Brock Lesnar. That's just, that just seems like where it's kind of going. I wouldn't be surprised if Gunther feels like, well, let me go ahead and do this big favor and take out Seth Rollins so you can give me that big favor against Brock Lesnar. And but I think that's where this is going to go. Uh, but Gunther, of course, after all this fighting back and forth with uh, or before the fighting, Gunther says WrestleMania is personal to him with Seth Rollins because he believes Seth Rollins cannot lace his boots. I don't think that's the case. I think, I just don't think, that's the case. He just came out of nowhere. We saw Seth Rollins uh, wanting revenge on the Vision. Now, you can't really have that revenge yet because Ron Breakker and Bronson Reed both got hurt. So they're on the shelf right now. And you're not going to see a match between Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. This is totally unfair. So you had to bring in Gunther. You had to have a match with Seth Rollins, so you brought in Gunther. But I think the reasoning now for Gunther to take this match to do this favor for Paul Heyman, or to do this, this favor for Paul Heyman, he can collect this favor and say, hey, look, next time, I want your best guy, the guy you've been with for over 25 or so years. I want to retire him. So of course, then the fight breaks out between Seth Rollins and Gunther, and Seth Rollins almost curb stomps Gunther on the steps outside. But of course, Gunther runs and lives to fight another day. That'll be a good match at WrestleMania. They put it together kind of fast. Hasn't had much build up, but it doesn't need that much build. It doesn't need that much build up because we already know what Gunther's capable of and what Seth Rollins is capable of. So these guys are going to I think they're going to heat it up at WrestleMania. So we go backstage again with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is with Dominic Mysterio. And Dom doesn't want to fight the Demon at WrestleMania. I didn't know, I kind of wasn't paying as much attention to, these promos with Finn Balor, but they're bringing back the Demon at WrestleMania, and Dominic Mysterio is going to face him. And yeah, you haven't seen the Demon in a long time. I was already glad that we now get Finn Balor to shine on his own, but I'm even more excited to see the Demon back as well. The Demon versus Dominic, Demon versus the Judgment Day. Uh, it's going to be it's going to be real good to see Finn Balor, not only Finn Balor back on his own, but also with the Demon, as the Demon, I mean. So Io Sky versus Kairi Sane. Now we come up to this match and everything, the match that Asuka had set up earlier. Kairi Sane might come out or come in on her own. She might. I talked about it earlier. She might turn on Asuka and come in on her own, but I just don't. I think something else is going to happen. But that's where it kind of seems, Kairi Sane might, at one time betray Asuka or whatever. But we have this match with Kairi and Io, and we've seen the bullies with Kairi being bullied by Asuka and everything, and every single time Kairi still stays loyal to Asuka. Every time we think that she's gonna, like, yeah, no, if you say to go that way, I'm going that way. No, she just continues to support Asuka. Kind of reminds me a little bit about, and this is one reason why I don't really see much. Even if Kyrie was to turn on Asuka, where would it go after that? What kind of build would Kyrie get? And how long would it last? Uh, I think it's a better way to build her up. But this reminds me of when the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase had Virgil as it was his bodyguard, but it's kind of like a servant, and everything. And people got tired of seeing him boss around Virgil and everything. And one day, Virgil just got tired of it. And Virgil ended up beating Ted DiBiase. It was for the $1 Million title, I think, if I remember right. And it was a real title. It was just a title for money. It was like if you won the $1 Million, beat Ted DiBiase for the $1 Million title, you would be an instant millionaire. And that's kind of what happened. So we start seeing Virgil. We saw Virgil that no longer living in, a rough life, but needing a job through Ted DiBiase. But now he could be his own man. He had his own money and everything after winning that $1 Million belt. But it kind of relates to Asuka and Kairi Sane in a bullying way. So that's where I kind of think. But once that happened between Ted DiBiase and Virgil, nothing happened with Virgil. It was just like nothing. It was within the next few months or something, or next year, you pretty much didn't see Virgil. Last time I think I saw Virgil was when he ended up showing up on WCW years later. But I don't know, just to kind of give an example of what this kind of seems like between Asuka and Kyrie. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but we see Asuka during this match. We see Asuka get involved, shoving Io Sky's head into the ring post. Well, this brings out Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes out to help, but not far behind is Jade Cargill. So Jade Cargill attacks Rhea Ripley. And Io then dives on Jade. Io's in the ring. She dives on Jade on the outside, helping Rhea. And she goes for the moonsault. Io Sky goes for the moonsault to finish off Kairi Sane. But then Asuka gets involved and shoves Io Sky off the top ropes. And this gives Io Sky a chance to cover. This gives Kairi Sane a chance to cover Io Sky and for the win. She gets the win and everything. So it was good to see Kairi Sane win this match too, and everything. But my question, after all that, is all this about Kyrie Sane turning on Asuka, or is this about Io turning on Rhea? And that's what I'm talking about. I don't think that we're going to see Kyrie Sane turn on Asuka. I think we're going to see Io turn on Rhea at one point. And when she turns on Rhea Ripley, she will go back to being with Asuka and Kyrie. It will be a good way to curveball everybody. It's just, it will. It'll be a great way to curveball everybody because you got to understand that not Asuka, but Rhea Ripley has never beat Io Sky. They talked about it a little bit, just talk about that a lot, but don't talk about it anymore because they became these best friends and stuff like that. But this will be, I think this will be a heel turn for Io Sky, and she will go back to Asuka and Kairi Sane, and then they will, you know, be battling Rhea Ripley. It's a lot more entertaining, works a lot better. I hope it happens. Now we go to this video with Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, and now that AJ Lee is back, this sparks the whole women's division a lot more. She already has this match with Becky Lynch, and I believe she'll be successful during this match. But there are going to be other matches that are going to even build up with this match. The women's division is already on fire, you know. Uh, but with AJ Lee returning, it gives us more good dream matches. Another good match we could get is AJ Lee versus Liv Morgan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess they're both Jersey girls. Uh, so they both have a similar toughness about them. And I'm waiting on that match, AJ Lee and Liv Morgan. That's going to come. But there's a lot of dream matches that you can see AJ Lee in while she's still while she's back in the WWE. Rhea and Io, that'll be another big match that could be set up. Like I said, it's just more and more singles matches. I like to see more singles matches with the women's versus too many tag teams. Have some tag teams, yes. That's why I said that Bayley and Lyra Valkyria will probably remain a tag team right now. I think they could probably be in line to be the next tag team champions. But Charlotte and Alexa, better off if they're separated. Rhea and Io, better off if they're separated. Uh, and of course, it'll be great to see if this happens, Asuka, Kyrie, and Io. So all these going to be great for future storylines. And don't forget, you also got possible return sometime Naomi. You got Bianca, which you haven't seen in a long time. And you got NXT possible debuts in the WWE. So it's going to be, women's division is just getting more and more entertaining. You're probably going to see more. I think it might just be one now, but you're probably going to see another all women's pay per view or something like that. But and I wouldn't be angry towards that. But yeah, that's where I see the women's division going in the near future. So the contract signing continues. We see back in the ring of Adam Pearce and Triple H introducing over Femi. Femi has to come to the ring to sign his name on the contract. And this match between Oba, Femi, and Brock Lesnar is giving me a certain type of goosebumps, certain type of vibe. I did not feel that way at first. At first, everybody was talking about, the main event would be CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And then Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton started heating up when Randy started, going back to old Randy. But you also talk, but even before those, you was talking about Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill as the dream match, as the main match. But this match between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar is building up very fast to possibly be the main event match of the night, or feeling like that. This match is just giving me Hulk Hogan and Andre goosebump vibes. The match, that match was, I remember, of course, I remember seeing that match, but I remember the build-up of it. And that build-up was just crazy. You didn't know who was going to win that match. I do still believe Oba's going to win this match. I think he will. But this it's just this, it's the atmosphere and everything of all this building up between these two. I think it's just going to be, it's possibly could take the whole weekend. It could probably be the best match of the whole weekend. Uh, I don't know, but yeah, I do. I'm very excited to see this match. In a short period of time, I'm very excited to see how it's done, built up. But Oba comes to ring for the contract signing and everything, and Triple as after Oba signs the contract, Oba gets the mic, and Triple H kind of just signals to Oba turn around, and you see Paul Heyman standing outside the ring, standing towards the entrance, and you hear all these Oba chants, and these Oba chants sound like it's the similar chants that Goldberg used to get, but when's the last time somebody chanted like that for a big brute like since Goldberg? And what I mean was, everybody saying "Oba, Oba," over and over again, and they didn't do it for Ryback. Ryback. It was more they chanted Goldberg because people were like, he's just another Goldberg. You don't get that with Oba. Oba's his own man, but he is heating up very, very, very fast, and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is standing in the entrance, and after all these chants and everything, Paul Heyman even says that Oba is the fastest rising star and the most violent person since Brock Lesnar. He acknowledges that, no pun intended about it, acknowledging, but he knows that Oba Femi is just like Brock was when Brock first got into the business, how fast he rose to the top. And I think he sees something with that. But and both these guys are very impressive. They're very impressive looking. I mean, they're impressive, but their presence alone just automatically just says, champion, top in the business. And I think that's where Oba is going to go very fast. But the thing about Oba Femi is Oba Femi doesn't need a manager or somebody by his side. He can stand on his own. He can go off his own fuel. Maybe sometime in the future he might see Paul Heyman be by his side, but or anybody else. But Oba really doesn't. He doesn't need that. He can, he's a person that could, Brock Lesnar when he first got into business didn't really speak. It was mainly Paul Heyman calling him the next big thing, and then Brock Lesnar, of course, come in the ring and just beat everybody up and then to leave. But Oba's going to be, he's going to be he's going to be big time in the WWE. But going back to this little face to face and everything. First of all, I even see Triple H sometime during that match. He's in the ring, and Triple H is just kind of, I hear all these open chants and everything, and Triple H is kind of looking. And it just kind of seems like, I feel like you could read somebody's mind. He's just kind of looking like he's thinking, we're on to something with this, with Oba Femi. And I just feel it. And I think, I'm not the only one. I think a lot of people feel it. And of course, the fans know it, feel it because, of course, you wouldn't have those Oba chants like that. But then Oba gets the mic. And After Paul Heyman's, rant and all that stuff about how Brock Lesnar's going to, dominate Oba Femi and all that stuff, Oba gets the mic and says, for 25 years, for 25 years, Brock Lesnar has dominated everybody. He's dominated this business. But in 4 months, Oba Femi, has dominated Brock Lesnar. That says a whole lot right there. In 4 months. And Oba says, the fans, everybody feels it. That Oba is the one in the business. He is the next guy that's going to business. It's going to put the business on his back. I am happy that during this segment that we did not see Brock Lesnar attack Oba and then F5 him, like we've seen Brock Lesnar do over and over again. It would just take away a lot from Oba. I'm glad he didn't come in the ring to suplex him or do anything like that before the build up. And they didn't do none of that. They kept these guys separate. And they're really kind of savoring this. WWE's kind of savoring this match. And this match I don't know if it's not going to be a long match, but it's going to be an impactful match. And like I said, can't say it enough that it's a possibility it could be the best match of the weekend. So then we go to this Liv Morgan video. She got this new video called Trouble. And I'm watching this video and everything, and I'm like, man, she kind of, she got got a little Britney Spears in her and all that stuff. But it's just so nice to see Liv Morgan, as hard as she's worked in the business in a short period of time to come up. She keeps elevating herself in many, many ways. And this video is a really good video too. This video is just going to, elevate it even more. Now, if she uses this video music as her interest music, it's going to be confirmed. I said it a lot. She kind of reminds me of the female version of Shawn Michaels. So, of course, that will be another way, her own, music that she's singing on be her interest music. It's a little fun fact or whatever. But I did like that video. I liked the video a lot. We go to Javon Evans in our next match. We go with Javon Evans and Dragon Lee in a tag team match against Rusev and JD McDonough. Now, this is just a little preview. There's going to be a 6-man Intercontinental ladder match at WrestleMania. And this match is just a little preview and everything. You add Penta and Rey Mysterio to that match, and that gives you 6 guys. Not sure if this match is going to be the caliber, if it's going to live up to a Money in the Bank ladder match, but it could. It really could. I don't think it's going to be too many OMG, type moments and everything, but you have with Penta and Javon Evans and also Dragon Lee. JD McDonough too. You have those guys who are probably going to take the worst of the bumps. Yeah, I don't see Rey Mysterio doing it because Rey Mysterio's done aged. Obviously, he's older now. He's already a Hall of Famer, so he's not going to be doing too many crazy stunts and stuff. But then you got the power of everybody in the group. You got Rusev. So this match, I'm not sure if it's going to live up to a Money in the Bank type of ladder match, but it could be a sleeper. It could be a big surprise. But it's for the Intercontinental Championship, so that makes it a whole lot better. But this match ends with Dragon Lee puts JD McDonough in Styles Clash, again, and wins the match. And like I said before, last time that I want that to become his go-to move. Which probably might be, I'm not sure, but keep on doing the Styles Clash just to honor AJ Styles, and win the matches I think that would be just something good, something good for Dragon League. And of course, keep us remembering AJ Styles. I'm not saying you're going to forget him or anything, but I like to see a Styles clash. But after the match and everything, Rusev lays out everybody. Even when Rey Mysterio and Penta come into the ring, he lays all of them out too. He's the last man standing in this match. And that makes me think that he's not going to win. Sometimes when the person gets the upper hand before the pay per view, before the PLE, that person usually doesn't win. But you know, Rusev just showed everybody what's in store for him during that 6-man ladder match. So it's good to see Rusev dominate because I haven't seen him dominate like that in quite some time. So last part of the night, we got Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes to the ring, and right after Roman Reigns comes out, CM Punk music hits. And CM Punk doesn't come out in the regular fashion. He doesn't come out from the entrance. He comes out through the crowd. And I'm thinking to myself, is that supposed to be a little, I don't know, it's supposed to be kind of like a shield type thing. A shield always should come out through the crowd. So that's kind of why I think that CM Punk did it. You see this look on Roman Reigns' face, like, when you get in this ring, it's just going to be, we're going to be fighting. So there's not going to be talking. We're going to be fighting. You can see that in Roman Reigns' face. But a Punk comes out to address the video from earlier. The video that started Raw off and everything. The video that was put together by Roman Reigns. And CM Punk says that he actually envies Roman Reigns. And he hates Roman Reigns. And the reason why he hates Roman Reigns is because he envies him. And CM Punk says that, Roman Reigns was handed the business. He comes from a royal family. And that's what makes CM Punk really not like him, really hate him. Some of the other things CM Punk says that even CM Punk says that another reason why he hates Roman Reigns is because even though he got handed everything, for being a part of this royal family, he still worked his butt off to get on the status of where he is now. Now, CM Punk did, apologize to Roman Reigns about, some of the words he said about Roman Reigns' late father, Sika. And CM Punk, says that, he didn't have he didn't come from a royal family. His family was the back alleys and the indies. And that's where, his family was. So it was kind of like almost a jealousy type thing that I worked this hard, and even though you worked hard, you didn't work as hard as I did. So you got handed things that I didn't get handed to. But it was really good promo. I mean, it was a really different type of promo that I had seen from CM Punk. And I don't know. I mean, at first, I was kind of thinking that maybe these guys were going to like shake hands or something by the time they got in the ring. After Punk revealed all that stuff, it was definitely from the heart, but that didn't happen. Now, after CM Punk has poured his heart out and told Roman Reigns the absolute truth of how he feels, CM Punk still says that he will be the winner. He will still be champion after WrestleMania. And Roman Reigns says that everything he said has been the most Roman Reigns says this. Everything CM Punk has just recently said has been the most truth he has ever heard CM Punk say, up until that last part. because Roman Reigns says he's going to be, the end of the match is not going to be in steel world heavyweight champion. At the end of the match, uh, it will be introduced as new heavyweight champion. And, of course, Roman Reigns says he's going to start this whole new uh, tribal chief era back over again. And okay, it paused for a second. His era paused, but after WrestleMania, it's going to begin again that easily. But who is really going to win this match? Prediction for me: CM Punk. I think CM Punk's going to win this match. Somewhere down the line, they'll probably fight again, but CM Punk, he's had this title. He hasn't had the world title too long. I don't see him giving it up at WrestleMania. Plus, CM Punk is the best in the world. So CM Punk is already beaten. He's beaten Drew McIntyre. I mean, think about this. He's beaten Drew McIntyre. He's beaten Gunther. So I think it's going to be Roman. Whether it's going to be some type of outside interference, surprise return, or something like that, I don't know. Kind of hope it is though. I can't get it out of my mind. In some way, I'm trying to plug in The Rock returning and interfering with somebody. I thought it was, I thought it was going to be he was going to be the person that The Rock was going to be the person that was talking to Randy Orton on the phone. It still could be. I don't know, but it was revealed that the person on the phone was Pat McAfee. Okay, so it takes The Rock out of that one. Maybe The Rock can come back and interfere, do something with the Usos or something like that. Uh, I don't see that happening, not yet. It's just not a big enough match yet for them to come back just for that. Maybe The Rock could come back and maybe side with CM Punk against Roman Reigns. But that would be wild if that happened. But I still would like see The Rock in some fashion to come back as far as being a part of a specific match and not just showing his face. But I do think it just makes sense that CM Punk will be the winner during this match. At the end of this match, he will be the winner and still be world heavyweight champion because he's the best in the world. And this is, I don't know if it's his last run, but he doesn't have too many runs left. So we're going to have to keep, you know, we're going to have to keep him going for a little while. I mean, Roman Reigns had the title for how long? So, he can wait a little bit longer. But right now, this will be CM Punk's era, right before he hangs it all up. I just want to see him be champion a little bit longer. But you just don't know uh, what's going to happen within these matches at WrestleMania. But like I said, this whole WrestleMania itself could be the biggest WrestleMania ever. And WWE has done a good job putting these matches together, and this build-up has done got me so excited. So we're going to see what happens. That's it for Calloway's Corner. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And as always, real talk, real stories, real impact. I'll catch you on the next one.